Nation, and welcome to episode 9 of the Road to Muni podcast. I know that looking around this week, there's not as many games as we've had as people are trickling into finals week here. But Coach, maybe you could talk about. I know looking around is kind of funny because we're seeing you kind of maybe tell us some schools or programs are ready for a break. It's we're seeing a lot more 100-point games. We're seeing a lot more teams that maybe get upset, and you're seeing a lot of quiet gyms too, which makes for some weird games. But always interesting to see how kind of this week goes, and then even when we get back after the Christmas and holidays, that first week of January is always interesting as well.
Yeah, no, we used to talk about all the time. It's like the kids get a chance to live the pro lifestyle here for a few weeks, leading into leading into break and then coming out of break even too. They get it's hoops and more hoops, and it is nice you get a chance to do some of that individual work as well on top of what you regularly do. So typically you'll see coaches adding in just a shooting or skill workout on top of just regular practice, and still got some of those fun classics going on and some pretty good matchups out there. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit today as well, but there's time to do some team time stuff too. We talked, there's different moments in the season where you can sneak some relationship building team time away from the court, and this during the holidays is certainly a good opportunity to do that, just like preseason is, retreats and overnights and things like that. So I always love this time of year. I thought it was a lot of fun as a coach, and especially if you got good matchups to really build around. I always tried to schedule hard, tough teams at this time of year, because you don't want to have those kind of throwaway games going into the break where people got their eyes on something other than what matters. And so, it's fun time of year.
Yeah, I've already seen a couple. I'll fill you in since you don't have social media, but I've already seen a few teams, playing those fun games you see where I think I saw some teams rolling some Oreos into cups to see, if they had filled with hot sauce and mustard and different stuff to see, whatever one you land in, you got to eat. And then I saw another one, some other holiday games, fun team builder activities. So it's
I haven't
kind of
seen
cool.
that one.
Yeah, it's
That's good.
cool. Yeah, it's cool to see some of the
Yeah,
games being
I haven't
played.
seen
Just
New York.
yeah, the Oreo one was definitely interesting. It's I believe I saw one in hot sauce, and the kid was definitely reluctant to try to try to take a bite of that Oreo. So, but no, I mean, just kind of trying to recap the week a little bit. I know, kind of going through the week, we saw. We're down to just 6 undefeated teams left heading into here. Not quite into break yet, but as we wrap up here, we got 6 undefeated teams left. We saw Bethel, Indiana team go at home take down, which is now currently number 3 Georgetown. And then we saw just a couple teams that we maybe haven't talked about, but William Carey, who's coached by Steve Knight. Coach Knight is one of the all-time or the current active wins leader here in the NEI right now. Going to be obviously a Hall of Famer and all that, and he has his team had his team in first place. They lost to Loyola on Saturday, but playing some good basketball this year. And then I know like Lois and Clark State, they swept Bushnell and Corbin, and they're a team that a lot of like several other teams across the country who's a little bit banged up right now, and I think they only played 8 guys this weekend. So the Cascade plays Friday, Saturdays most weeks, and playing with 8 guys on back-to-back days like that can get tough. But it's cool to see them get a sweep, and Coach Austin Johnson's a really good coach. He's had a team in the national championship and a Final Four already this year or in his career. And then a game that we're gonna be talking to Coach Dreikosen here soon, but maybe one of my favorite games I've seen all year. And Rocky Mountain Masters. Masters got up 30 in that game, and Rocky came storming back. And when you're just talking about high caliber games and teams that 2 teams that can match up in March. That one was a lot of fun to watch. Big time basketball, in my opinion, on that one. And then your game of the week, Coach. It didn't disappoint either, as Montana Tech went on the road to Vanguard. I know I talked a little bit off the air that Vanguard is their gym's being renovated, so they actually are playing at junior college again this year. They played there last year too, but kind of a fun environment. But definitely those two teams, Montana Tech got up 9 with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game and seemed to be controlling the tempo, and Vanguard came storming back in that one.
Yeah, yeah, no, that turned out to be a heck of a game for sure. Yeah, everything it was billed to be, and more. Frankly, I think two really good teams. Not can't take away from either team. And Montana Tech is still obviously a very good team, and I said off air too that I think Vanguard is. I'll put my name on that one. I think they're really underrated. I think that is absolutely a top 25 team. They got two top 10 wins in the country. I don't know that anybody else can make that statement, and yet they're sitting there just getting votes. So, I think sometimes the ratings are what they are, but I'd encourage Raiders out there, if you haven't taken a look at Vanguard, get your eyes on them. They're really good. My opinion is they deserve to be a top 20 team. Certainly a fun team to watch. And, that in that locker room, I'm sure you don't talk about that stuff often in the locker room, but doesn't hurt as a motivational tool to know that you're not getting much love nationally yet, and you're pretty dang good. So
Yeah.
hats off to those guys. Montana Tech, good to see Bellick back playing again, and he's going to continue to find his stride. And that team's really good also.
Yeah, and he's only playing. I think he played 24 minutes in that game, and looked tired down the stretch. And you'll have that coming off a big injury. I mean, the ACL is nothing to frown about. It's not like a twisted ankle. I mean, he hasn't played basketball since the opening round of last year when he got hurt. And just once he gets his conditioning back in him, I mean that team's already good. But yeah, definitely a healthy Caleb Bellich, a full 100% Caleb Bellich will help them out as well. But yeah, that was a fun game. Two really good teams, like you said. Vanguard, the only team in the country with two top 10 wins, and not bad for a team that was picked seventh in their preseason in the GSAC. But it's gonna be fun to watch where those teams go.
Yeah.
And I don't know, kind of circling back to the Rocky Masters game, and we'll get more from Coach coming up here. But I don't know how much you got to watch of that game, if any. But man, I tell you what, there was some big time play, and we have talent all around the NEI. And I want to state that talent doesn't always equal wins, but these are two very talented teams, and two teams that if you can go back, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't watched that game, I just encourage people to try to go back and watch that one, because it is two teams that's the type of basketball when you think about the NEI national tournament, and two teams that whether they make it to Kansas City or not, that is a game that represents the teams that in the style play and just the physicalness and the athleticism and just players making plays and everything across the board. It checked a lot of boxes of what you look for of those teams that do make the Kansas City.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't catch the whole thing, but caught bits and pieces of it. But yeah, players. We got great players in the NAI, and I think Coach Wright mentioned it last week. He's looking for a roster of Division One players, right? I mean, that's the same thing that everybody is. So the players are there, and I'm also so impressed with the coaching across the board as I watch. Especially these elite teams. I mean, the coaching is just excellent. The execution is really at a high level, and so. Yeah, it's such a fun. That's why I love this level of basketball, right? It's, you got a bunch of down to earth people just enjoying the game and enjoying relationships and having a lot of fun doing it. So it's really just a fun, refreshing way to watch the game for sure.
Well, and you said it earlier that you like to challenge your team this time of year, and this is kind of one of the last shots for a lot of teams to get those challenging non-conference games, because when we get back from break, it's going to be a pretty heavily dominated conference schedule for most teams, and this is why I like the Cactus Classic. I know that a lot of it is the GSAC versus the Frontier, but you also have like a team like Marion that is down there from the Cascade, or from the Crossroads League down there that kind of come out there. And I know every year I think ONU went down there last year or the year before. I mean, there's a lot of Midwest teams that end up going down there as well. And just a lot of fun to watch the Cactus. An event like the Cactus Classic. I know we have several. I mean, even the Southeastern Classic, which is a 4-team classic this weekend, had 4 really good teams in it as well. But kind of fun to watch, like you said, the scheduling this time of year, and watching these teams challenge and go get these last couple opportunities to get some non-conference wins.
Joining us for our coaches conversation this week is Coach Bill Dreikosen from Rocky Mountain, coach and coach of the national championship head coach as well. But Coach, I know he. I kind of joked online this week that I didn't know if we were going to be able to talk. If you were going to have much to talk about this week. I know it's been a heck of a season for you guys already. It's currently sitting at 7-1 overall. You got a sweep of your Rimrock rivalry with Montana State Billings. I know exhibition win over Montana State, Division One, and then you talk about your NAI schedule as well with your only loss playing at a top 10 Arizona Christian team. First off, welcome to the show, and second off, you want to maybe talk about your schedule so far and a little bit about Rocky.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you very much for having me on and getting a chance to talk about Battle and Bear basketball. It's an awesome place to be. I'm fortunate. I've been there for 29 years and was fortunate to play there. So I kind of bleed the green and gold of the Battle and Bears. So it's fun. And yeah, this is a fun group. All of us in athletics and in the world, I guess, have went through COVID, and a lot of people got the benefits of COVID on the front end. They had some guys maybe who were seniors that COVID year, and then they came back for their, 5th year after that. And we're kind of on the back end where a lot of our kids were younger, and we were a new team in that year of COVID. And now we're kind of capitalizing on these guys pushing through, being together, fighting through some tough times and some challenges. And they're taking advantage now of the opportunities this year in really playing some good basketball against some high-level competition.
Well, and we can jump into this week's schedule at the Cactus Classic in a little bit. But since you brought up some of your guys, when we always talk about every week, and even on on social media and stuff too, just how much talent there is at the NAI level. And you guys are definitely not short on it. I know Kit Robinson has been phenomenal for you guys. You don't see a ton of 6'7" guard forward, that quote unquote point forward position around any level really these days anymore anyway. But Caleb's been great for you guys. You got Max and Stevens inside, who's been force for you guys for many years. And then you also got the Owens on the outside. It's been playing some good basketball too. Jesse Owens. You want to talk about your players some here, and just kind of I know a lot of them have been together for a while, but even some of the new guys here.
Yeah, well, they definitely have been together a while. Like I said, they've been through a lot of different things, from highs to lows, and definitely Jesse, Kale, and Max are big pieces. They're our big three for our team, and we feed off of them. But we have some other key parts, like you said. Jesse, he's a local kid from Billings West, and we're located in Billings, Montana. He's a Division One. He was a Division One football player out of high school for the team who's going to play for the national championship, the Grizzlies. So he's got a little heart over there. But his heart was always in basketball. His dad went to Rocky and played football at Rocky, actually, and his name's Rocky. So there's a lot of things going on with that. But Jesse's a phenomenal player. He's so quick, fast. He's a great leader. I think the greatest thing about him is his charisma. He always plays with the level head, and he never gets too high or too low. But nobody works harder on the game than him. And then you got Big Maxim Stevens inside. He's one of those kind of point forward guys too. He's a good decision maker. He can play outside. He can play inside. He's a legitimate 6'9", and he's been with us for 5 years now too. So we count on him for a lot of things. Offensively and defensively, he's a real versatile player. And then you mentioned Cale Robinson. I can't say enough about Cale. He's fun to to coach. It's nice to have guys that are so versatile like him, and he understands the game extremely well. You can put him on different players. He wants to guard the best player every night, and you can appreciate that as a coach. But he can score, he can pass, he can rebound. So we're pretty fortunate to have three special players like that, and the fact that they all get along really well too. They feed off each other and make each other better. So I'm thankful for that. And then other guys, Junior, just coming in. We brought in Greg Wilson, a kid who's done a great job. Sometimes it takes junior college kids or freshman kids a little while to adjust, but he's came and fit in and fit into our style, but still plays his game. We're really happy with him. He's a strong, big guard that does a lot of good things. And then we got Elliot Brooks in the lineup, who we all know is a sniper. He can get hot and hit a lot of shots and that kind of thing. We got a great bench. We got Cade Tyson comes off the bench for us and plays some big minutes for us. And Cameron Quinnell does, and we got a plethora of other guys that we can count on, like Brett Clark and and several other players. So I feel like we're pretty deep.
Yeah. Coach, I don't want to give away the trade secrets here, but I'm noticing a couple of these key guys are New Zealanders, right? And I'm looking at this going, I've been to Montana, beautiful state. It's awesome. You've been there a long, long time. What is it that draws, we like to talk to coaches about this. Like, what is it that draws somebody to you, to your program, to the university? Like, what is it about your place that's special, and how does that sound when I'm on a recruiting visit or you're talking to me and I'm, in this case, in a different country, way, way far away, but even for the local guys and whatever else, what is it about Rocky that just makes it a special place that gets you excited about recruiting there?
Yeah. Well, Kevin, that's an awesome question. Get to ask that a lot. And I think, like I said, being there 29 years and having the blessings to play there too and graduate from there, it's the people. Rocky is just built on outstanding people. That's not just in athletics, from coaches, players, administrators, trainers, faculty, staff, president. It's just built. It's all about relationships at Rocky, and you get to know the people, and they look out for you. And I think also sometimes you go to a bigger place or something, and you're not really the big event in that city or whatever. And basketball has always carried. Rocky Mountain College basketball has a long tradition, and so we've got fans and people that come support us that are just connected to the college. So I think just the atmosphere at games and events. I mean, we've only had one home game so far, guys. One home game
crazy.
So far. So, and we had a huge crowd. And so I think, those things, but really the people and the atmosphere. And I think, the guys, like you said, from New Zealand, wherever they're from, we got guys from New Zealand and Tennessee and Florida and Billings and Wyoming, and so all across the country and internationally. We have a big international programs. We got a lot of soccer and skiers and golfers who are international too. But I think they really love the Rocky family. And also, as you guys know, you got to have a winning program and Rockies, not just in basketball, but we're highly competitive in all our sports. Our women's program is 7-0 right now. Football, volleyball, golf, soccer, track, cross country. We had a national cross country runner who won the national event this year. So we're pretty fortunate. I'm very blessed to be in this situation with the people surrounding me. But it's really about the people, Kevin, to answer your question.
Yeah, I love it. And I just think that's a fun thing to talk about, right? For coaches, it's, these kids come there, and basketball is such a big part of the experience, but there's certainly a global investment by the university and coaches in these kids' development. And it's really fun to just kind of hear where your passion lies. And I'm sure that translates into how you coach these guys too on a daily basis. And you're in a fun place right now too, right? With the Cactus Classic, and you got one good win under your belt, and it sounds like you got another tough one staring you in the eyes here, right? Coming up today.
Yeah. yeah, all of these games down here, there's no easy ones, but that's really what prepares you for conference. We are 7-1 and 0 conference wins. So, you got to keep preparing for that first conference game. And, yeah, we had a great, kind of an unreal setting in that game. You guys reported on some of it, down 30 and come back and win. I've been in it for a long time and, never seen anything like that. My dad's 80 years old and doesn't text a lot, but he's watched more basketball games than I have, one of the few guys. But he texted and said, hey, son, I never seen anything like that. Really proud of the effort and the resilience of this group. But all the respect out to Masters, too. They're very good. We were fortunate. And now, yeah, we got Marion, who's only got 2 losses, and one of them's to Grace, and we all know how good Grace is, and they played them really good. I think they outscored them in the second half of that game. But, yeah, they're just really well coached. They got just toughness. They can really score the basketball. They defend like crazy. So it's going to be an exciting game again to go up against great competition. Then we end the Cactus Classic with Mid-American Nazarene, and I got a long history with them when Rocky Lamar was there too, so now I know it's a prodigy of his, so that won't be an easy game either.
Yeah, I think it's fun, Coach. I know you guys have been running a campus class for a while now, and I always appreciate you guys for allowing giving us information ahead of time to get everything set up. Because I do think that we were talking a little bit beforehand too that these classics, this is kind of the last one, like the last big classic for teams to kind of get the knockouts, because after they come back on break, it is a heavy conference schedule. You want to maybe talk about how you guys started with the Packers Classic and then how you guys been able to grow it, because now it's still a lot of GSAC frontier teams, but now you're starting to get a lot of Midwest and a lot of region teams as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's certainly not, I'm just a small piece in it, you know how it is in everything, whether it's coaching, whether it's marriage, whether it's business. You're never too big of a piece. You're just one piece. I kind of help take care of the scheduling, and J.C. Isaacson of Providence has been helping with a lot of the other things, and then just people pitching in from our administration, from our SID, Brandon, and trainers, and he's bringing stat people, and then we got a guy here that lets us use the gym at Chandler Gilbert, because he used to be in the Frontier Conference and play there, and then you got the hotel people that are working with you. So it's a lot, but it definitely has gained a lot of interest from a lot of other good programs, as you can see, from Midwest, and people that only need 4, 6 maybe conference games, whereas our league, we have to play each other 3 times. I mean, just think, I got to go play Western, Carroll, Tech, Northern, Providence 3 times still this year, each one of them. So we have to have some non-conference games. And, like you said, it's a time of year when you need some games in December. And it's just worked out great for all of us to get down here, meet at one site, and be able to, go play against good competition and not move around, have to travel from one, venue to another. And so that's really been awesome. But it's a group effort of a lot of different people, and we'd love to, get more teams in. I always think it's great to play against other high-level competition. And I wish, like, the NEI could help us a little more that way, just in, like, what the NCAA talks about, crossover tournaments, and where, one league's playing another league one year. I mean, it's really about the experience for the kids. I learned that from a long-time NAI guy, a couple of guys like Al Brule. I don't know if you remember who Al Brule was.
I know Al.
Yeah, Big Al, one of my great friends. And it was guys like him and Ken Ammon that kind of baptized me in this profession from the national scene. I've got a lot of local guys that have baptized me from the local scene, even, getting fortunate enough. And I want to mention that I have Steve Keller on staff, and, he's got 900 wins. So I got a lot of wisdom sitting next to me, and, more so just take his advice and just roll with it. I don't got to question it, but, people like that, that's where this kind of developed. Junior and Kevin is, Al and Ken, took me under their wing, when I was trying to get, put good teams together. And they used to put one on Al would do most of it, and Ken would help too. And they'd put one on in Las Vegas, very similar to this, but we'd only have like 4 teams. But I'm thinking they invited me. All right, I'm going to go, do this. And I remember playing the Concordias and Al's teams. I mean, obviously they were great. Then I got it developed into like, oh, this is pretty cool. Now for me, Phoenix and Chandler is a lot better place to do it than in Las Vegas. I'm not a Las Vegas guy, but this is developed into kind of what they started. So I want to let those guys know that hey, they're guys that kind of gave us the idea, and then we started doing it.
Well, and Al baptized me too, except for in a different way. He baptized me into getting my butt whooped in the CCAC back in the day when he was at Robert Morris. So they he was great. Al was the transfer portal before the transfer portal was the transfer portal. You know what I mean? He's running around with fax machine flyers out to all the D1s, say, "Hey, you guys got anybody that's leaving?" That kind of stuff. And that guy's great. So he's a NAI legend for sure. So
no doubt.
And I think about those classics. They're really fun, like you said. You get out and you go to a neutral site like that, and there's a lot of camaraderie. The NAI, that's one thing I think this level's awesome for, is coaches are for the most part, egos have kind of left the room, and we're all friends with each other and support each other and things like that. And the kids, there's some camaraderie there. So I think that's another fun ingredient of this level that you don't see at some of the other levels is that among the coaching fraternity, so to speak. So it's fun to hear some of those names thrown around and get through it. And I know Junior and I are not against coming there, Coach, and doing a live, broadcast of the Cactus Classic. That'd be pretty fun, Junior. I think Arizona sounds pretty good this time of year where we both live. So
I think I can handle that.
Yeah. Well, Brandon here, sitting here. I mean, he's shaking his head. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get that lined up, Brandon.
yeah. Well, he'll work, and then we'll help you guys in any way on this end. I know JC at Providence would be all game for that, and obviously, in a sense, it's a little bit of our conference tournament because mostly our conference teams, and we don't want to play each other, and we're playing against other teams. But no, we'll help in any way, whatever we can help from this side, and in helping get you guys here. I think it would be huge for, again, it's all about the kids and the programs, and that's what we appreciate about you guys is sharing out there. Just, getting good stories out there, getting good information, and we need more positive stuff out there in the world. So we appreciate what you guys are doing that way.
Yeah, Coach, and I know you brought it up, and I do have it on my notes to talk. So I want to dive a little bit deeper because I've been able to watch a lot of Steve Keller teams, from his Montana Western days, seeing him in Kansas City play several times, at Providence days, and it was. I know when he left Providence last year, and I know that you guys are good friends before this. So he's a Rocky grad too, if I'm not mistaken. But you want to maybe talk about how that just kind of came together? I mean, outside of being friends and Rocky grad, and then on top of that too, I know that players are competition driven. So when you get two really good guards going at it in practice, it makes each other better. I'm guessing that's probably going on in practice with you guys too. I'm sure that between the two, you're both becoming better coaches because of the knowledge and the experience and just the overall win between the two of you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, biggest thing in these situations that I'd want anybody listening to understand and know is, God's always got better plans for you than you got for yourself. So sometimes you're like trying to do all these things and, I'm going to do this and this is my plan, but God's got other plans that are, in the long run, they end up being better. And the story, with Steve and I is, when he coached his in high school, I was in grade school. But we were in the same conference and up in northeastern Montana. I lived in Hinsdale, Montana, and he lived in Opine, Montana. He's from Custer, Montana, which are all small communities. But he had some great teams. He won, I think, 3 or 4 state championships in women's basketball up at Opine. Just had phenomenal teams. And that was back in the day when girls and boys were at opposite seasons. So he was coaching girls and he was coaching boys. He's coaching all year just like you do in college. And it's kind of come fourfold. And I look back and when I did hire him, I was thinking, well, we didn't have a great team in high school at that point. We just were maybe a small school, kind of a little bit down. And I started sitting behind his bench for his guys' games and keeping stats of my own. And I don't really know why. My dad was a coach and all those things, but I just remember I'd write down, and he had guys that would score big points and they'd win by 20 or 30. And I guess the only thing I can say about that is I wanted to be a part of a winner. And he's always been a winner, And, then I hired his son. His son was on my staff for 8 years at Rocky, and we won a national championship together. And now he's the women's coach there. So kind of this led to that. And then, I got to give my wife credit where credit's due. She asked me pretty much every day when she knew I was going to have an opening on staff, and she seen that Steve had, retired. She kept asking me, hey, when are you going to call him? Did you call him today? Did you call him today? And, I said, well, I'm always one to kind of want to do things the right way. So I was talking to his son, hey, what would this be like? And of course, Wes, he never hesitated. He's like, I think you'd be great, and stuff. So very fortunate when I did call that he would even entertain it. And, here we are. So it's been a lot of fun. Of course, I know there's been a lot of people that just wonder, well, how's that going to work? How are you two going to be able to coach together? But I think we were very confident that we would be able to, and I think we are a good mixture, our styles, our, we sit there and we're not afraid to learn something from each other. I've got confidence in him and he's got confidence in me. And the biggest thing is how we can mend our philosophies together to get the best out of our team, and that's definitely showed up so far this season.
That's cool. And I watched the bowl season like this. Saban is like a pro at that in college football, right? Like somebody leaves somebody's staff and he's swooping them up right away. I mean, just you make your staff better, right? That's awesome. And so especially when you got that lifelong friendship and value set and everything else that influences how you do work together is pretty fun. It's good humility on both your parts too, and modeling that for your kids. So that's pretty fun to see, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Really, life is about relationships, and it's not what you can get, it's what you can give. And like I said, I want to give honor and praise to the Lord because I've been very fortunate. The Lord has blessed me in many, many ways with a great family, a great wife. You can't do this profession without a great wife, and she has to be home. I have to leave for this tournament every year, and I have a son that has a birthday on the 14th, and my wife has a birthday on the 14th. I better get that right, and my son on the 16th. So, but I'm fortunate I got to bring my daughter with me on this trip. But the Lord's been great to me, so all the glory goes up there. So I appreciate that.
Well, Coach, I know that you guys have some prep work for your last two games here in the Campus Classic. I know that even if you get out of the Campus Classic and into league play, we're going to wish you guys the best of luck. You've been a lot of fun to watch this season. I know obviously a lot of tradition there too, but cool to see Rocky back competing on the national sale. I believe this is your first time being ranked since 2019. But I wish you guys the best of luck and go. Wish you guys the best of luck, but more importantly, I hope you guys have safe travels and a great holiday season here.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for the time and the energy and the commitment to NAIA basketball. We're a big fan, and we share your stuff with everybody. So appreciate that and what you do it for. And I think that's the main thing is we all just keep the right thing in focus. So you guys too, be safe, and let's get you out here. I'll do anything I can. I'll help you guys out. So. Right. I will mention that to the coaches here, and that will create more interest. You know that. So
I just signed us up for. I didn't even ask Junior about that. I just signed us up for.
Who
doesn't like Arizona in December? Come on.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
no getting out of it now. I'll make sure.
Yeah.
Really? Thanks again. Have a good Christmas.
Yeah, you too, Coach.
Speaking of good games coming up here, I know we've had a lot of not good non-conference matchups, but Coach, I know for the coaches corner this week, your game of the week is going to feature a top five matchup here.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at that. Um, I'm gonna go with Shreveport and Langston. I don't really know where to put it at which team,
Yeah,
but we're playing a neutral site there, which is kind of fun. Tournament style with that. Let me see if I can get this to advance here. Yeah, so Tuesday, it's in Fort Worth. Looking at both teams a little bit, Shreveport, number 4 nationally, 7-0. Might be 8-0, but 7-0. Title contender for sure. This is a good resume opportunity for them. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as one of the keys, but I really want to look at this as a great opportunity for them. And then looking at Langston, we had Coach Wright on last week, and he has just really got things rolling there at Langston, number 2 nationally, 10-0, definitely a title contender. They're really good defensive team. I mean, they're really fun to watch defensively, very disruptive, high ball pressure, and just really good team all around. So this should be a great matchup. Things that we want to take a look at for this particular game. Christmas is coming early for NAI hoops fans out there. It's a first time top 5 matchup of the year, I believe. Definitely a Final Four type matchup. Great opportunity for both teams to make a statement. So really, as we're getting into the Christmas season, this is a gift wrap for us to be a pretty special one. I'm looking at one, an interesting thing. This may seem a little odd, but are the whistles blowing in Fort Worth on Tuesday? Langston is so good defensively, and almost put pressure on the officials to make them call it with their ball pressure. But they foul almost 23 times a game, and Shreveport is really good at getting to the free throw line. I actually think I might have that stat wrong there, but they're one of the top teams in terms of getting to the free throw line and scoring from there. So I think for Langston, a key is going to be, can they defend without fouling? Can they keep Shreveport out of the bonus? And then for Shreveport, just continue to attack the rim, take care of the ball, and get to the free throw line. I think Shreveport is going to have to score probably 20 plus points from the free throw line to have a shot to win this game. Looking at Shreveport, looking at their schedule, I'm going to say I think this is a statement game for them. They really need a win like this on their resume. Don't have a ton of opportunities for it. And I think if they get this win, it really cements them as a top 5 team. So a little bit of a prove it game there, and they certainly, I don't think they're going to lack motivation coming into this one. Langston, one just player note, Roy, the last 3 games leading into that Central Christian game, he was rolling. He was about 27 points a game. Really, really talented player. And went down. I don't know if it was what the total context was, but watching the game, saw him go down in the Central Christian game. I hope he's okay. Hope he can play, and they're at full strength. But just something to watch as they get into warm-ups and get the game started. Is Langston going to be at full strength and have him out there? Because when he's out there, he's definitely a really, really dynamic offensive player and adds a lot to them as well. So should be a really fun matchup, Junior. We're looking for this one going into the Christmas season. It's a fun game this week.
yeah. I mean, we're guaranteed to have 5 undefeated teams heading into break, no matter what with these 2 undefeated teams going at it. First top 5 matchup of the year, which is kind of a little bit crazy. I think I feel like in the past there's been a lot more of those type of games, and but yeah, definitely going to be a fun matchup. I hope everybody's healthy. I mean, these are type of games that you just wish when you see it on paper, it's even like that. This is the Division I level. When you see the best teams in the country go at it, you want both teams to be healthy, and especially on a neutral court game because it's one of those where you get a good feel for both teams coming out of this one. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if everybody's healthy. Like you said, we kind of have an elite offensive team versus an elite defensive team, and it's going to be another battle to see who can control that pace of play a little bit. But if you're wanting some talent, this game is going to be plenty of talent as well. I
Yeah.
believe, if I remember counting right, there was at least 8 or 9 Division I transfers in this game on the floor in this one. So looking
Yeah.
forward to that game. I know we're not going to be going next week for a podcast because we're going into the holiday, Christmas Eve and holiday season here. But definitely won a game on Tuesday to take us in the break. That, like as you said, well choice or well played on the Christmas references there too. But
Yeah.
as you said, it's going to be a really fun game for a lot of NEI fans to watch. Even if you don't have ties to either team, it should be a game that you should
Yeah.
watch. As we said, there's we're trickling down to a week that doesn't have a ton of action. Matter of fact, Wednesday is about the last game or last day with any type of games for about a 5 or 6 day span. So I know that for us, we won't be on next week. We do hope that everybody has a great Christmas or a great holiday, whatever you celebrate. Safe travels if you're out there traveling, and we wish you guys a great holiday season. Until next week, or until 2 weeks, this is Junior and Coach Lubbers signing off.
We got it.